God only knows what you've been through. God only knows what they say about you. God only knows how it's killing you. But there's a kind of love that God only knows. God only knows what you've been through. God only knows what they say about you. But God only knows the real you. There's a kind of love that God only knows.
Welcome to the 39th episode of Your Journey Is Not Over. My name is Tanya Pearson Randolph. This is my own personal journey, and the expressions and opinions are of my own. I own all the rights to my personal journey, and Your Journey Is Not Over. Neither are to be used, copied, or edited in any way without my consent. I have decided that instead of proceeding with my own personal journey today, that I will take this time to speak out and to reflect back on this past year. If you have been listening to me, then you already know. I lost my husband and two of my very first best friends from kindergarten in 2023. And I begun 2024, which is my birthday, New Year's Day, alone and reflecting and still so lost and heartbroken over not one, but 3 losses in 4 months. 2 days later, my brother, my older brother, my protector my whole life, my one constant, committed suicide. I found myself even deeper in despair. Even today, before I wrote this, I was trying to remember the time in between January and April 6th. That's when I found myself on my living room floor for hours and in the most agony and pain I've ever felt in my life. I never knew a person could be so broken, so helpless, until I experienced it myself that night. And to think our childhood trauma played a major role in my brother's suicide, which is still so devastating to me. And just 94 days later, I almost succumbed to the same fate as my brother. God stepped in on me, gave me the strength, the love, the grace, and the protection to get me through that night. It had to be Him because I had nothing left in me. From that, I went on my yellow brick road, my healing journey. And the lessons I have learned since then have been life-changing for me. My hopes are by sharing my journey, which includes my traumas and my losses, that I can reach anyone that finds their self where I was April 6th. I want to convey to them that the breakdown will bring them to a breakthrough. Hold on. Keep talking to God. I believe that as long as you keep crying out and talking to God, the devil can't touch you, nor take your soul. Don't give up and don't give in. I now know I experienced that night for a reason. Again, God wanted me relatable. I can't relate unless I experienced it. Just like many other things in my life, God wanted me, among many other things, relatable and approachable. Probably one of the hardest lessons to go through. But with that lesson came wisdom, knowledge of what it's like to truly be at your breaking point, at your lowest. I pride myself on being a strong person. I really do. I'm very strong-minded, and I have a strong will about me. And of course, I've always had a strong faith in God. So yes, I am one of those people that when I would hear of someone that took their own life, I would be like, what were they thinking? Didn't they know it would get better? Or, how selfish of them. I have a completely different perspective of that now. As humans, we can only comprehend so much pain. Our brain can only store so much trauma. Everything that I locked away, I stored away, compartmentalized my whole life, all came out in one night. All of the loss and the betrayals and the trauma all came out all at once. So yes, I can relate now. And I know society has us believing that we can't show weaknesses or vulnerabilities. Yes, we can. I believe that it takes a strong person to admit defeat and weaknesses and vulnerabilities. And it takes a strong person to reach out for help. It's the people that act so strong and act like they can overcome anything Those same people that hide their pain, and now looking back at the people that I personally know that committed suicide, it was those people that I thought were the strongest people. Again, we all have a breaking point. It's surviving that breaking point that matters to me now. I want everyone to be able to make it through the dark night of the soul. I want everyone to come out of the darkness and to begin their journey down their own yellow brick road and to make their way into the light, closer to God. The hardest part is feeling it, but we have to feel it to heal it. My grandma always said, you have to walk through hell to get to heaven. I never understood that saying until after April 6th. I understand it completely now. Just know when you're walking through hell, God's right there too, and He's taking every step with you. And when you're too weak to walk, God will carry you. When I first started Your Journey Is Not Over, I truly thought it would be a podcast about widows and widowers. And then God said, Tanya, open it up completely. Talk about childhood trauma, all of your trauma, and now suicide. I've had so many people reach out to me, men and women, and they're people with powerful positions, good lives, or so it seems to everyone on the outside. You know, because society is based on material things. You know, your house, your car, your job, your clothes. But when they reached out to me, they were as broken and exactly where I was April 6th. I'm just so grateful to God that somehow, some way, they scrolled across me on Facebook, never knowing me before, and that each one of them had the courage to send me a message and to reach out and to trust me. It takes a lot of courage to reach out to a complete stranger and admit weaknesses and vulnerabilities. And sometimes it's easier to talk to a stranger rather than someone you know. With me, there is no judgment. And what I've always known about people is that sometimes they just want to feel heard. And of course, I never share. Everything stays confidential. I have met several of these people for lunch. Of course, my treat always. I don't allow payment of any kind, not even lunch, for my friendship. It's been my pleasure to help and to touch the people I have. It also verifies to me that God's got me on the right path to help others on their journeys, and there is no shame to reaching out for help. Before I close today, I want to take this time to say thank you to everyone that follows me, to everyone that streams me, and joins me on my journey. I'm so grateful. And of course, I want to say thank you to Spotify, to Apple, to iHeart, to Deezer, and to YouTube for allowing me to stream on their channels. I hope everyone takes this time to reflect and embrace all the great things that are to come. Along with the new year comes new dreams, new goals, new friends, new love, and new memories that are yet to be made. As I tell everyone, take lots of pictures, make memories. They last a lifetime. And safe travels. Since I won't be back until January 2nd, 2025, I want to wish everyone happy holidays around the world. And I also want to wish everyone a happy new year, no matter where you are. Again, I will be back January 2nd, 2025. Please stay tuned, listen in, and always remember, your journey is not over. God bless.
God only knows what you've been through. God only knows what they say about you. God only knows how it's killing you. But there's a kind of love that God only knows. God only knows what you've been